The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough, join the family. It's all love while we laugh at first criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Ooh, oh, please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh please, the puppies need me. Oh please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.
Hello, Sofa Squad. How is everybody doing? I hope y'all are doing wonderful. I hope you're doing well. Y'all welcome Miss Emily to the sofa. I do appreciate you being here. Bright and early, keeping the sofa cushions all fluffed. Hey, Neens, how's it going? Hey, Jay. Hey, Courtney. Maura, Giselle, Patty, Nancy, Kitty Cat. Thanks for those ones. So I went ahead and started a little bit early because allegedly it started at 9 o'clock and Court TV's doing like that little preemptive music of like the take your seats, the lights are going back down, put your wrappers and your drinks away, the second act is coming on, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we're doing. Now for those just joining, we are watching the final pre-trial hearing before her trial starts. Jury selection begins. I kept saying it was today. I believe it's the 19th now. I think they actually did push it back a little bit, but we'll find out today for sure. I can't remember. A couple of other things. Aaron Patterson's police interview was released. It's only 20 minutes. Sunday night's live chat is what we'll watch that. I've already watched it. If you're a Patreon member, I posted it there, but you can Google it. I do that just for a matter of convenience. If you just Google Aaron Patterson interview, you're going to find it in YouTube. But yeah, it's interesting to watch her demeanor. So there's that. Secondly, today or tomorrow, I'm recording my Amy Bradley video. It will probably be very long because there's so much to go over. So yeah, and that'll be out probably next week sometime. What else? That's kind of it. I got a bunch of little like Donna Adelson videos coming out on the main channel next week. We got our Taylor Shabusiness video this morning for there. So just all sorts of stuff. So we're gonna see what Miss Donna's how the cookie crumbles today. Okay. Carly says pardon me. I won't doubt she'll probably take the stand. Yeah, I can see that. Hey Goblin, I know it's so early, right? Let me tell you what. I know I'm not yet. It's almost 9 o'clock here. Hey NRH, how's it going? What I want to see is Donna doing this. You know how like she has the habit of sitting there and being like this? Yeah, she's so animated at the defense table, right? So it's like it is what it is, you know. It's just it is what it is. So, and I'm trying to think of what else is going on. I'm just kind of waking up. I've got today we had to pull out the can't roll my eyes hard enough one. You already know. Y'all, it's less than a month from CrimeCon. Hey Donna, how's it going? less than a month from CrimeCon. Very excited about that. So if you're going, yay. And for those who are going, hey Luna, hey Michelle, and who are into Kendall Ray, she's going to be doing a meet and greet there. Yeah, I can see Donna up there. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. Yeah, I haven't been to Denver since I was a kid. So that part alone is going to be cool, right? I've got some family that lives out there. Hey, Michelle. I've got, I actually have a bunch of friends who've moved away from there. I guess because it's just so crowded and all the things or whatever, but you know, it is what it is. They've all kind of moved back this way. And yeah, CrimeCon. I'm gonna see Emily. Y'all, you know what's funny? Emily and I talked, and our planes, you know, we're coming from different parts of the country. Our planes, we literally land within 20 minutes of each other, and we both booked like several days early. So it is so funny that we both were like, we're gonna meet and take a Uber back to the hotel. And Emily, I'll text you later. I've got an idea about how for us to do the initial Uber grocery store scenario. I mean, we obviously have time, right? It's a few weeks away, but I was just thinking about that earlier. Your birthday's the 19th. Happy early birthday, Tressa. I'm seeing Jason, Aldean, and Court. I read that as this, Avery. I'm seeing Jason, Aldean, and Court tomorrow. And I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, I think that's that country singer. And I was like, okay, what's he in court for? And why are you going? Or is it like, do you have a case against him? Like my mind just went in a million directions. In concert, that is going to be a good concert. I will be curious to see how it goes. Star, what's up? 11 o'clock at night for you. Are you in Australia? If it's morning here, it's night there, right? Yes, Star. What happens with Donna's I always like doing that. What happens with Donna's pre-trial hearing? You've already seen it. You're in the future, right? Like what? No, you typed it right, Avery. You typed it right. I read it wrong. I'm just not awake yet. Melbourne. Okay. So Star, you saw where they released Aaron Patterson's police interview, like a portion of it. So for people in Australia following that, it's out there. Google it. It's there. She's also not allowed to sell her house. There's also been a pre-sentencing hearing taking place, I think yesterday, maybe. So we've got motion going in the Aaron Patterson saga, if you will. For me, watching her interview, I just was like, yeah, there's nothing there. Like she's just very matter of fact. Like, yes. I just want y'all to know I was very cooperative. Hey, Christina, thanks for joining on your first live. Woo, 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 woo. And I filmed a bunch of little like case update videos for this channel. Just have to edit them. And then on the scary movie channel today, 3, I think I have it listed, is my review of the movie Heretic. And I think I'm gonna do Silence of the Lambs for next week. Cause I watched that last night or the night before. Is like it's rainy, it's dreary here, kind of nostalgia type thing. And that's such a good movie. It's such a good movie. It's a sleepy time here. All the book. This is the so Carly, after this, and y'all help me out here, I don't know if there's a trial this year that we have lined up. I mean, I'm completely open to watching some and live streaming them. If y'all are like, hey Paul, what about this one? But the next thing in my mind is Corey Richards, and this again is if these happen, right? But Corey Richards in February, that kind of a thing. We might do some stuff like rewatching things or whatever. Oh, hey Tori, what's up? Tori, I liked your little video of the tortilla things with the doggy and everything. Allegedly says, have you watched it? I have not. Is it good? Allegedly, have you seen it? Oh, Emily, Corey Richards is the woman who poisoned her husband. Wrote the kids' book about it. Not about her. Well, she wrote a kids' book about it, I guess you could say. Oh, I'm glad, Christina. I hope you have a good morning. She wrote the book about grieving or whatever. Went on a media blitz about it. And then she did, oh wait, but that's right. Thank you, Shayna. We're talking, how can I forget that? Brian Walsh in October. Imagine if Anthony Todd and James Craddock had a baby, you've got Brian Walsh. Okay. Period, end of story. To the volume.
Okay.
I want them to show her. Good morning, Todd. You're all good. I hope you're having a good morning. Hey, Florence. How's it going? I know, right? Courtney, let's pray that it's so rare, but even right? Actually, people, clearly, what do we do with it? Shocking. Stretch my leg. He says, let's kind of turn that down for a second, because yikes. It's pretty loud. Anyway, we get the mood lighting. Yo, what if they free deal? Imagine if they come out with that. We got a plea deal. She's turned on Monday. Is she in there? There she is. Show her. She's like, really? Okay, I didn't know that. So if you wet the Skittles, it's like mixed. Oh. Look at that. Really? Alright. Should I use it for trial? Oh, that color's so silly on me. You know, Charlie was always behind Wendy. Always the B student. You know, she is looking better. She doesn't look as like tired, if you will. She's like, okay, yeah. She definitely looks like this has been a very comfortable. I do think she's still gonna go for the whole I'm a victim. I mean, that's what the whole family does, right? Except for she got what she wanted. She's done with it. She's yelling. She better dance. She better prance. It'll be a night she won't remember. Hey, knitting artisan. I hope you're well. We're just getting started. We're just kind of making commentary about Donna. I would wonder that too. Emily says, I'm going to house Wendy. I would wonder that too. Like, does she partner with the other great kids? Or we cut her off. Talking to her is Donna's so messy, is what she's saying. Hey, Alpha, what's up? I mean, because like I know when you make a statement about, I don't know where I'm about basically being like, she's been told by her lawyer not to discuss because obviously all this family. But I don't know if she talked to them because I would be afraid even in a phone call because what you never know what Donna's gonna say. You never know. But here's the other thing too. I'm sorry. This is about this book. So, and yeah, I agree. When cases get this complicated, you begin to be like, wait, what happened again? Like, who's the victim in the place? Because there's so much drama surrounding it. I think if they had not gotten called, thank you, Avery. Lindsay, Lindsay Clancy, I forgot about that. I forgot about that one. Hold on, I'm trying to look this up.
Yeah.
Well, there's just they're having a good old time over there.
All right, court is now set and the Honorable Judge Stephen Everett presiding.
All right, lady, you see it?
Hi, Judge.
I mean, this joke, I can't pronounce it.
Here this morning in State versus Donna Adelson, 2023 CF 3226. For the final pretrial hearing this morning, we're going to address all of the outstanding motions and also some matters pertaining to the trial, which is still scheduled for the selection of the jury starting on August 19th. The parties can make their appearances for the record.
Georgia Kappelman for the state.
Jackie Fulford for Mrs. Adelson.
Joshua Zellman for Mrs. Adelson.
And I believe we have several defense motions to address. Ms. Kappelman, the state has not filed any additional motions in limine that have not already been addressed by the court.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Right. Let's start then with the motion in limine concerning the court file relating to the dissolution of marriage. Mr. Zellman.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, as is my custom, I lay it out in motion. It's our position that the vast majority of the court file, even with the court taking judicial notice, is inadmissible. It's irrelevant. Paragraph 7 of my motion provides a somewhat comprehensive list of the items that are in there that have no bearing, have no relevance, they're not material in any way to this case. And so we're asking that, aside from very limited number of items that the state can establish has relevance, and it's not barred by hearsay, we're asking the court exclude that file.
Ms. Kappelman, which parts of this file is the state seeking to admit as a part of its case in chief?
The entirety.
Right. As to the items that deal with, as identified in paragraph 7 of the motion, what exactly would be the relevance first, and what is your argument as to hearsay?
The relevance, Judge, it goes to the motive, the level of intensity of this litigation, the volume of the paperwork suggests that it was very litigious and went on for some time. The words that are used are strong, even hateful, and this was a cause that was adopted by the defendant, as the emails evidence will show. So it's important for the jury to understand the foundation of this motive is this litigation that began with the divorce, continued beyond the divorce with the child custody issues that developed later.
All right. So in part, the volume of what occurred over the divorce proceedings, you want the jury to recognize this goes to motive in some way.
Yes, Your Honor. In reference to hearsay, the items are not being offered for the truth of the matter asserted. There obviously was a litigious divorce, but it's being offered to show the effect on Ms. Adelson. These items were shared with her. The evidence intends to show she was very involved in the pleadings. She was sent the pleadings and offered detailed responses for how Mrs. Wendy Adelson should respond to the pleadings. So it's very bound up in the state's theory of the motive for the case.
All right. Mr. Zellman, as to your client's emails to her daughter as this litigation was going on, are these contested in any way?
With respect to the initial dissolution proceeding, no. However, in reviewing the emails, the post-dissolution matters that were filed by Mr. Markell, there's no evidence in those emails that those pleadings were shared with Mrs. Adelson. And so certainly, if the state's theory is that it goes to the motive, and that's the way of getting around hearsay, they have to establish that the pleadings were sent to her. My review of the emails show that did not happen. So they can't go to show my client's motive if she didn't receive them.
As to any pleadings that correspond with emails or communications that were made by the defendant and otherwise demonstrate her role in or some part in the divorce case, as to those, I'm going to rule they are admissible. The pleadings themselves, if they're being offered not for the truth of the matter asserted, but to otherwise demonstrate motive or intent, those are admissible. However, Ms. Kappelman, as to the bulk of the file itself, I do believe the defense is raising a clear point on this. Absent a connection or a nexus between the defendant and specific aspects of the divorce file, what is your argument concerning it?
I mean, there are pleadings in there that are not necessary to show the motive, but I did offer the exhibit itself in its entirety to demonstrate the bulk. If Your Honor is not inclined to allow those pieces of paper that cannot be directly connected to the defendant, may I be permitted to show the exhibit as a demonstrative to the witness to verify that that is the entirety of the divorce file?
It is permitted as a demonstrative. You may also ask questions that generally deal with the amount of filings and also the volume of the case, but ultimately as to responses for production or mediator notices, I'm inclined to agree with the defense as to that point. If there's not either a relevant connection or a nexus between the defendant's actions and then what occurred in the dissolution of marriage case, all of it does not come in as substantive evidence. But I do have to make clear on this point, Mr. Zellman, as to what the witnesses will testify to, and none of us will know this until the evidence actually begins. This file can be used for purposes of impeachment, and it can also be used for purposes of rebuttal. Depending on what the witnesses say, what might be not a part of the state's case in chief may still be available to them through other means that are permitted by the rules of evidence. Is everyone clear on those?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's move on to the motion in limine concerning the testimony of Sarah Youssef. Mr. Zellman.
Again, Your Honor, we stand on the motion.
Ms. Kappelman responds.
I would just ask Your Honor to reserve on her. The state has no intention of calling her, so I don't think, unless that changes, that there's any reason to address her testimony at this time.
Well, and I assume you are going to leave Ms. Youssef available as a rebuttal witness if necessary.
Yes.
If the witness is not going to be called, it essentially moots the issue. On that point, Mr. Zellman, the state is not committing to calling this witness. If they do call them at that time, I will issue a ruling concerning your motion in limine.
Yes, sir.
As to any purpose of rebuttal, ultimately what comes out as a part of the defense case, Ms. Youssef still is able to testify in that capacity. Right, the next motion in limine concerning the testimony of Stephen Webster. Does the defense have any argument that has not already been made through the pleading?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Kappelman responds.
Judge, I agree with some of the defendant's motions. I don't think Mr. Webster can offer opinions. For example, his testimony, of course, will be governed by the same rules of evidence that every other witness is governed by, but he does offer some relevant points. So I think I should be permitted to, I don't know, these motions kind of blow my mind because it's like we want to pre-litigate every statement, including potentially objectionable statements that can be addressed during the trial by a proper timely objection. So I would ask that it be handled in that way.
All right, concerning the testimony of Mr. Webster, Mr. Webster, in his capacity of representing the deceased, certainly can testify factually as to what his involvement was with the divorce case. And also, he may testify concerning the nature of the proceedings as to any opinions that go beyond that. Ultimately, I think that's where we are going to have to get into what is being asked and what would be the response that ultimately the defense would find objectionable. But generally, as to any opinion that Mr. Webster cannot give without a proper foundation, I think it's settled as a matter of evidence that no witness gets to generally opine on matters in which they are not qualified to testify to. Is any other ruling being sought concerning Mr. Webster beyond that by the defense?
Well, yes, Your Honor. In prior trials and in deposition, Mr. Webster testified about statements made to him by Mr. Markell. Those are hearsay. There's not an exception. Those statements weren't shared with anyone else, certainly not my client. Those were statements that were made during the meeting in May of 2014 that Mr. Webster. There's no exception that I'm aware of under the hearsay rule.
Statements made by the deceased to Mr. Webster. Ms. Kappelman, do you have an argument?
I think I agree in general that those statements would be hearsay. I don't recall what my theory of admissibility was in prior trials, but I would agree to approach if I intend to elicit a statement made by Mr. Markell to his attorney and offer my theory of admissibility prior to asking the question if I decide to do that in this trial. I don't think I plan to do that, so it's hard for me to address what that theory might be now.
Well, again, as a general principle of evidence, hearsay that has no exception is not admissible. If the state is seeking to admit this statement for a proper purpose that actually has a basis in the rules of evidence to be admitted, you will need to approach so that way the information is not placed improperly before the jury. The motion in limine is granted as to Mr. Webster offering any opinions for which he is not qualified to give. The court will reserve the ruling on the issue of any statements that he may testify to by the deceased. If the state, again, will have to present an actual exception to hearsay in which the matter can be placed before the jury. Right, the renewed motion in limine concerning the Latin Kings. Mr. Zelman?
Yes, Your Honor. This goes in part to the theory of the defense and why Mrs. Adelson acted the way she did, the language that she used on the 2016 wire calls. Typically, I know that we would want to have the foundation laid through her testimony for that, but if the court were to bind our hands in questioning the state's witnesses, it would be too late to wait until she testifies. We would lose the ability to cross the state's witnesses on that issue. It's very limited. You have Luis Rivera. There will only be a few questions at most. Potentially Charlie Adelson, depending on when the state calls him. Certainly Special Agent I believe it's Jimenez.
Now, in the last trial, he outright testified that he was, I guess, at least pretending or trying to influence your client as a member of the Latin Kings gang.
Yes, sir.
All right. To that end, Ms. Kappelman, what is your argument?
Same as my argument has always been on this issue, Judge, which is that Rivera was a gang member. That's why he was recruited to do this. I think that's relevant. But the fact that he was a leader of a specific gang, I think is just bad character evidence that doesn't lend anything additional, more prejudicial than probative, and I would ask to exclude those details.
Similar to what we had in the last trial, as to this painting the character of Mr. Rivera specifically, in a negative light. The court's ruling will remain the same. As to the witnesses, though, Mr. Jimenez or other witnesses that may bring up this topic unsolicited on their directs, once the horse is out of the barn, it's out of the barn. As far as any cross-examination of Mr. Rivera specifically, the defense may cross-examine Mr. Rivera as to his role as a gang member and why he was recruited into this matter to specifically serve a purpose as it relates to the conspiracy of the killing of Dan Markell. Now, with regard to undercover or the former undercover agent, this is where I believe the analysis begins to diverge on this topic. He specifically approached the defendant as a Latin King member, correct?
No, sir, my recollection is, I know that was his testimony, but I would instruct him not to say Latin King in the future. However, he didn't say anything to Ms. Adelson about being a Latin King. I guess that was his version of acting like a gang member. I don't know how well he did. Ms. Adelson didn't seem to think he did very well, but that was the intention. He did not represent himself to her verbally as a Latin King gang member. He was not wearing any clothing or other signifiers that he was a member of a specific gang. And the idea was just, you're an associate of this killer who is a gang member.
In response on that topic, Mr. Zeldin.
Just looking at his previous testimony. My role, I'll quote from page 1067 of the trial transcript of Mr. Charlie Adelson's case. Starting at line 20, question, can you explain what that operation was? Answer, my role in that operation, I was portraying a Latin King gang member and I was instructed to conduct the bomb. Continuing on 1068, question is, all right, when you say you were posing as a Latin King gang member, did you announce yourself as a Latin King gang member to the person you approached? I did not. Okay. So that's the role. That was my role. You're a character. That is correct. That is his testimony. And I believe that once, especially with the call that my client made to the undercover on May 6th of 2014, when he became verbally aggressive towards my client, that factors into his role as a Latin King gang member. And I know in the previous hearing last year, Your Honor questioned whether there was a difference between a Latin King gang member and simply a gang member. The answer is absolutely. In Miami, in South Florida, there is absolutely a difference between a gang member and a Latin King gang member.
Even with that being said, this ultimately goes to your client's state of mind, who is going to establish how she knows the difference between, forgive the pun, the garden variety gang member and a specific gang member.
I think between her testimony and anticipated testimony of Charlie Adelson.
As to the questioning of the former undercover officer or special agent Jimenez, I will permit the defense to question the former special agent as to whether he is portraying a member of a specific gang as a part of his own operation. Depending on what the answer is, we will revisit the issue of whether the name of Latin Kings needs to be specifically uttered. As to either Mrs. Adelson or Charlie Adelson testifying concerning her state of mind and knowledge of the Latin Kings, as it goes to state of mind, the defense may certainly inquire as to that during the defense case in chief. As to Luis Rivera, the court's ruling will remain the same as to his leadership role or specific affiliation. The fact that he is a gang member may be inquired into, and the fact that he has had or the fact that he had, or his role while he was recruited in this case, that certainly is ripe for cross-examination and may be inquired into. But as to him being a specific Latin king, that is where the line is going to be drawn. Do we need clarification on these rulings?
Just a moment, Your Honor.
Not from the state judge.
So the concern we have, Your Honor, is that Mrs. Adelson, part of her state of mind, her level of fear, is that it's not just that she learned he was Latin king, but that he was the leader of one of the branches of the Latin kings in South Florida. That heightens her fear. And of course, she will testify to that.
I cannot make her testify. If she is committed to do so as a part of her defense, that's her choice. But ultimately, someone with competent knowledge has to testify to this fact. Eliciting information about state of mind from the witness that either has not spoken to your client or either has no knowledge of the state of mind, I'm not sure how that can be accomplished other than either your client herself, her son, or someone else who has direct knowledge of her state of mind at the time, unless you have an argument.
So I guess the way that we could accomplish that, Your Honor, is that Mr. Rivera, he is under a defense subpoena. We would ask that he remain for the defense case so that we can call him on our case in chief.
That's fine. Mr. Rivera, as I recall, never had any direct communication with your client, but this is to elicit another relevant matter.
That's correct, Your Honor. It would be, once we establish the foundation, I would want to recall him for the specific purpose of him confirming that he was a leader of the Latin kings.
Very well. Mr. Rivera will remain under the defense's subpoena until the conclusion of the trial. Let's move on to the defendant's motion of limine as to the interpretation of emails, recorded phone calls, and text messages. Which witnesses is the defense referring to concerning this motion?
I think it goes really to retired Detective Isom, Special Agent Sanford, potentially Jason Newland. I think a number of witnesses have offered interpretation of statements that were made. Now, we're not talking about coded language. Coded language is treated different. What we're talking about is the emails, the recorded phone calls, and text messages, other than coded language. What we're asking the court, because it has come out so frequently, that the court prohibit the state and, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, the defense, from asking someone other than an expert to offer an opinion about what someone means by an email, what they meant by a statement, or what they meant in a text message, aside from the language that's used itself.
Ms. Cumberland, response?
I agree, that would not be admissible.
The motion in the limine is granted as previously raised in the argument on this matter. Any matters that would go to a code in which a witness could lay a proper foundation on this issue. Certainly, they may testify as to that point, but any general opining as to what an email, a phone call, or a text message means will not be permitted unless there is a proper foundation that can be laid by that witness. Next, the defendant's renewed motion in limine concerning travel as consciousness of guilt.
Your Honor, I know that the court previously ruled on this issue and that allowed the state to use this information in their argument. The new information, as I've laid out in paragraphs 4, 5, 6, and 7, I stand on the motion. Those additional pieces of information had not previously been provided to the court, and I think that it's significant because it goes to her state of mind for making the travel plans and for going to the airport and for stepping on the jet.
If I'm recalling prior counsel's argument correctly, Mr. Rashbaum did raise the fact that there was no legal process, subpoena, or warrant for your client, correct?
I believe that's correct, Your Honor.
So, response, Ms. Kaufman?
Judge, I don't think this is new information. This was never disputed. I don't think it changes the analysis.
On this particular point, the court has reviewed the transcripts of the depositions that were cited by the renewed motion, and the ruling will remain the same on this issue as before. These matters go to the weight of the evidence and not the admissibility. The jury, as the trier of fact, is going to decide what significance to give to the evidence. The defense also is free to cross-examine on all issues that pertain to Mrs. Adelson being free to travel. The matters that have been previously raised within the motion to suppress and rule on as to the phone calls and other evidence, that also will be presented to the jury as well. They will make up their mind.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I believe that covers the defense motions. And Ms. Kaplan, you stated that the state did not have an additional motion of remedies that not have been previously ruled on.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Judge, there's one additional one also filed on July 21st concerning the opinion testimony of Jason Nolan and Patrick Sanford.
Yes. Go ahead with that motion.
Sorry, Your Honor. I'll stand on the motion.
Ms. Kaplan, response?
Judge, the defense elicited personal opinions out of these witnesses at deposition about the lawyers and their ethics and how they think they might have been involved in the new investigation, and now seeks to suppress those opinions, which are clearly inadmissible. I don't understand it. I don't know why we're doing it. I would never elicit such a thing.
Well, Ms. Kaplan, even though it might be inquired into at deposition, ultimately, if there's a basis to exclude it pre-trial, that's why it's being raised now.
Of course, there is no reason to elicit it at deposition, and it could never be admissible at a trial. So we're just wasting paper and time with these motions. No objection.
The state is conceding the issue. The motion is granted as to any opinions that would be offered by either investigator Brier or Special Agent Sanford. Again, there must be a proper foundation for them to offer an opinion on a subject. If they don't have the ability to do so, it cannot be presented as a part of the case in chief. I don't really see a context in which this might come around, either in rebuttal or as far as impeachment, but again, these rulings are being made as to the state's, the substantive evidence the state may present as a part of its case in chief. If it needs to be readdressed as a matter of either impeachment or rebuttal, I'll take it up at the appropriate time. All right, let's go ahead and talk through some of the logistics for jury selection on 8/19. We are going to be in this courtroom once again. I believe the number of jurors that we have under summons right now, the prospective jurors under summons, I believe it's near 300. So what we're going to do on that Tuesday, essentially we will have the pre-screen of jurors on the issue of pre-trial publicity, similar to what we did in the last trial. The court will be asking these same questions, or substantially same questions. Both parties will have an opportunity to follow up on the court's questions on the issue of pre-trial publicity. If a prospective juror is deemed suitable to return for a group voir, from there they will be given the date and time for which group voir will begin. For the pre-screening that will take place on both Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, potentially Wednesday morning and Wednesday afternoon, I would anticipate by that point, we would have a suitable pool of jurors from which, going through the pre-screen process, anyone who has had an issue or either the court believes, the state believes, or the defense believes is not suitable to go to the group voir dire. From there, each party will have an opportunity to make their objections known as to that respective juror, and they'll be told to return or they will be excused at that point. Does anyone have a question about the pre-screening process?
No, sir.
There you are.
Also, as well, so that we don't have any issues similar to what occurred in the previous trial, in which I believe there were allegations the jurors were speaking to each other. We are going to have additional bailiffs. The prospective jurors are going to be instructed not to speak to each other. It might make a long day for them, but they will be sitting in silence. We will provide reading material to them, and we will have extra bailiffs on hand to ensure that no one is speaking to each other while they're waiting to be screened. Does anyone have anything they need to raise concerning those?
Is it your honor's intention to handle the pre-screening, I don't know what it's called, instructions that happen down in jury assembly?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe last time, I'm not sure if someone else qualified or not, but for each group that will be qualified, I will do it personally, so that way from beginning to end, they are seeing me, hearing me, and understanding you're not to discuss the case or anything else with each other.
Perfect, that's the state's request.
Judge, how many of the 300 are coming each day?
Broken up into groups of 50, so 50 in the morning, 50 in the afternoon. We may not even need to get to the end of this grouping altogether if we are able to go through the pre-screening process on the issue of pretrial publicity. Once we have, say, 100 to 110, that's more than enough to give 12 people.
How do you intend to handle proceeding once we successfully select a jury?
Once we have selected a jury at that point, and also I believe too, we'll need at least 2 alternates unless the parties wish to have 3.
We defense would request 3, Your Honor.
Very well. Then once we have our 12 jurors and 3 alternates, at that point we will swear them. If we have enough time to actually move into opening on that same day at the selection, we'll do that so that way we can start to begin into witness testimony seamlessly without issue. How many days is the state anticipating to go through its case in chief?
I think best case scenario is 5, worst 7, so 6. I could see how it could run into the first part of the 7th day, Judge. I think 6 is a comfortable estimate.
Let me bring up my calendar. Assuming that we have a jury by Friday the 22nd, we know that in place, August 25th through September 2nd as the state's case in chief. I think there is a holiday on September 1st, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is anyone long-term work on Labor Day?
Jackie is.
I need one other hand, unrelated to that side of the table.
Thanks.
It is a holiday for the workers of the world, but we cannot forget that we have a trial to finish. All right, 8:25 through 9:02, then estimating as the state's case in chief, how long is the defense estimating to present any case that it wishes to do so?
Can I weigh in on that before they speak, Judge? We have historically picked a jury in 3 days at the longest. Twice we did it in 2 days. So my suggestion would be to start on Friday. We could even do openings as early as Thursday, if Your Honor was willing to entertain that. I know that's not the defense's request, but that would be the state's request, just to move it on as quickly as possible.
Well, for the openings only, does the defense have a position concerning this?
That we don't want to make the openings unless we have a great deal of time after we pick the jury on a particular day. We would prefer to do the openings the next day.
So you're not asking to defer the opening to your case, you just don't want to open on the same day?
It's going to depend, Judge, on your ruling on the additional motion.
Right? On that matter, again, depending on where we're at time-wise, I'll just instruct both parties to be prepared to potentially give their openings. I'm not going to place a time limit on the opening statements, but obviously, each party will be the captain of its own ship as to how you will captivate the jurors. Is either party expecting their opening to go beyond 30 minutes?
Depends on your ruling, Judge.
Ms. Calvin?
Yes, I think it could be up to 45 minutes. It's not going to be different than it was previously, but I'm sorry, I don't know how long it was. I would say 30 to 45 is a comfortable range, Judge.
Right, as to the defense case, once we are finished with the state's case, how much time are you estimating?
Depends on your ruling, Judge, but anywhere between 4 and 6 days.
4 and 6 days. So that would place us then around the week of September 8th. Concerning any other matters that we can address as the logistics of the trial, I believe we will have rooms available for our family members, both for the victim's family and for the defendant. Do the parties anticipate making use of these rooms?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Right. Please contact court administration. From there, you'll receive information as to how to access the rooms and when they will be made available.
Judge, can I clarify your intentions about when to start testimony?
Go ahead.
You intend to start testimony on the 25th, is that right? With the possibility of openings having already been conducted?
Well, at the latest, if we go into Friday with needing to select a jury,
Okay. If we get a jury,
if we get a jury prior to that Friday on, say, the 21st, really at that point, there's nothing preventing the testimony from getting started on the 22nd.
okay, so I'll be prepared to start testimony on the 22nd then. And my understanding was, and my subpoenas run through September 5th, but it sounds like we might be extending into the week of September 8th, is that right?
Well, I believe the defense is indicating they might need anywhere from 4 to 6 days.
That's what they said. All right, so we could potentially go through the week of the 8th.
If need be.
All right, I will attempt to get subpoenas out for rebuttal for that week, but I will advise the court that as of right now, those are not out.
We are losing a day because of September 1. But if need be, we can figure out logistically how to make this work for Saturday to continue working. I'm sure you all would like a break, but I'm here. Part of the matters of logistics that need to raise considering the trial.
Hey, Judge, we're going to have an issue regarding space. We're not all going to fit here. We also don't want our computer screens facing cameras and the audience being able to see what's on our computer screens. I have become very old, and the font size I use is very large, and probably someone in the back row can see what I have on my computer, so we're gonna need to have, I understand we're blocked by this column,
Right.
but we're gonna need to have some kind of setup where we can put our things and our defense not be disclosed ahead of time to the media and blogs and this and that. The second thing is, these microphones used to have the ability that you could touch it and it would turn off. My client is hard of hearing, so she talks loud. So everything she says is going to be picked up. This one is now set up so you have to press it each time you want to mute it. And, right, press and hold, you gotta hold it down for it to continue to stay muted. And we're gonna ask if the court admin could put it back to the function where we can push it off. I don't think there's gonna be any opportunity in the trial for someone to not pick up on a recording of Mr. Zellman's voice. He's very loud. I tend to be loud too. So it's not gonna be a record issue in our position, but it's certainly gonna be a problem when we're trying to speak to our client about something because it's going to be heard.
Well, in front of the jury, definitely understand the concern that we're registering with this. We'll inquire as to what can be done for the microphone on the table. If your client does need to write things down, so that way nothing's being given away, that might be the easiest way for that to be handled, but that requires the microphone. The seating set up in the gallery, I believe the first two rows behind the defense, those are not going to be available to any members of the media. As far as the font size of your computer, if you need to rearrange how you're seated at the table, so if you need a seat on the far left, or my right, your left, so that way your computer can face the wall and no one can see it. I don't really know what I can accommodate you with as far as that font size beyond that.
Well, the problem is the end of the table it's not open. It's the leg of the table. So I don't know if we can add a little something, another table that is the same size.
What I've tried a 3 co-defendant first degree murder trial in this room before, and what we had done was one table was between the column and the bailiff's box. There was a table here and then this table here. I think that if we could put a table to our left, that might be one way of accommodating this thing.
Right. Please make a request here in the court admin, we will figure out the best way to try to configure the tables. Ultimately, for what needs to come in with, I believe the state is going to try to, or needs to bring in its equipment, audio equipment.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Because of that equipment and how they need to be set up, the tables and how they're configured can't interfere with that. We'll try to accommodate that as best as possible. This comment as to the audio visual needs of the state, other than what has been used before with the audio setup, is there anything that needs to be addressed?
No, sir, it'll be the same setup with the same company.
All right. Probably then they'll need to get started by the 15th in this room so they can set up all equipment, test the equipment, and if there's any problems, we'll be able to figure out what needs to take place before we actually get started on the 19th. All right. For the media presence that will be here as well, I believe it will be similar rules as it's been in the past. There will be one live video camera, there will be one still frame camera. Obviously, the bloggers and reporters, they are permitted to take notes as if they were print journalists. But the initial rows behind the state, Ms. Kappelman, I assume the victim's family is wishing to appear.
Yes, Your Honor.
They will receive priority seating with regard to how they're positioned in the gallery. After that, it will be free to the public and the press to seek in all areas that are available. Does either party need to be heard concerning those?
Your Honor, we're also going to need space for our client's family and friends who are going to be coming to support her as well. We would request that they have similar priority seating as the victim's family.
That's what the 2 rows will be behind the defense that will be available to family and friends. Again, similar to last trial, other than the video recording and still frame photography recording, beyond that, no cell phones are to be out recording any other matters or trying to take photos of the witnesses or the jurors. I believe similar in the last trial when Special Agent Jimenez testified, his face was not shown, obviously because of the nature of his past work. The court will just make the same ruling concerning that as well. His face is not to be shown, but of course the substance of his testimony certainly may be reported on by anyone who believes it is newsworthy. During the selection of the jury, the faces of the prospective jurors are not to be shown. Their names are not to be shared. But as far as any biographical type data, such as the composition of the jury, being, for example, 7 male, 5 female, what their professions are, those are certainly able to be reported on by the members of the media and disseminated. But ultimately, what I'm getting at is names and faces, so we don't have any disruption or disturbance during the trial. Do any of the parties have any questions concerning those?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. One last thing, typically, I don't think I've had a trial with you quite some time. Typically, my paralegal sits with us, so that's another reason why we need that additional table. She also may have some additional people assisting her, and I'll make sure that they're identified to the bailiffs so that there are no issues there.
The members of the direct support staffs may sit on the benches that are behind the attorneys, or if we need to figure out a table configuration for them if we have the space. But the direct support staff is permitted as to both sides. Does either party have anything further to raise concerning the logistics of the trial or any other issues before we finish?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
One other matter comes to mind if the attorneys can briefly approach.
I mean, they've got a list of things. A list of things. Oh, goodness. Hey, Chrissy. So, yeah, for those just joining, we're just sitting there having just a sidebar. Got 3 dogs sleeping on me. It's very snuggly. Well, Bobo's next to me. Jake's in my lap, and Luke is by my leg. So I feel like, what is up with the Latin King thing? It's like everyone on trial, Taylorship Business started something with that, I swear. Right? It's like everyone's learned that. Now, also think for this judge, the perspective that he has of hearing every story that's come through. Right? Everyone's different story of this case. He's heard it all. Right? And now it's just like, oh, okay, so now the Latin Kings did it. Okay, gotcha. And yeah, in the beginning of it, when we heard that talk about the dissolution of marriage, I was like, she's divorcing Harvey. I was like, what's the thing here? But he was talking about the Wendy and Dan's divorce. Yeah, Bobo. That's what we do call him, Bobo. Bobo Jr., right? Yeah, Bobo. I don't know why we call Bobo Bobo. It just makes sense. Oh, Crafting on the Floor, I hope you're doing good. Thank you for being a member for 11 months. I know it's rare we get to do these more times. Oh, thank you, Chrissy. I hope you've been feeling well. I hope everything's been going good your way. Yeah, KB says now she'll have the Latin Kings. It's okay. You don't need to get all snappy. KB says now she'll have the Latin Kings after her. I know, right? Oh, I'm glad to hear Crafting. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing good out there this morning. So yeah, what we'll be doing, so you heard kind of the schedule they did. So leading up to Leaving for Crime Con, I'll be streaming it and then it'll get a little bit disjointed in there. So we might like do maybe some, I don't know how we'll do it. We'll figure it out while we're at Crime Con. I might have a little station set up or something where I just stream like a morning session or something. I don't know. Because here's the thing. It's gonna be oh, you had a cat named Boo Boo. That's so cute. Like the defense is going once we're at Crime Con. So you know that's gonna be like the good cringy part, right? Bobo says, I want to get back under the blanket. I want to go back under the blanket. Excuse me, I'm sorry, y'all. So we'll figure it out though. We'll figure it out. It makes me nervous. I'm like, yeah, I can't believe they're trying to bring in the Latin King thing. I'm just like, I mean, I shouldn't say that. I can see what, like, I can, obviously she's trying to get out of trouble. You could go with this narrative, but they're going to get that undercover cop.
We will be in recess for today. The jury selection will start August 19th at 8:30 in the morning after the initial group of jurors has been qualified. From there, we will move into the pre-screening process as previously discussed. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, Judge.
Some last little looks in at Donna for the next 11 days. She's like, oh, look, tell me the thing about the Skittles again. You wet them, and it's what, lipstick, blush? Hey. I know when they started talking about the audio, I was like, oh, she's gonna go to bat for us. She's gonna try and get the audio fixed. And then it was like, oh, no. And it started off so well. Like the audio was so good to begin. And then it was just like, so please help. So there you have it. So we have a few wins, maybe. I mean, I think this judge is very fair, right? That's so cute. Crafting so when she passed away, I wrote a song called Ode to Boo Boo. My parents still make fun of me 30 years later. Oh my goodness. That's so cute. Ode to Boo Boo. Are you talking about Casey? Are you talking about Donna? There's some there's some like from newspapers. She kind of just looks, I mean, this is, you're gonna be like, really, Paul? That's groundbreaking. I was gonna say, she kind of just looks the same but younger. It's so anyways, so a few little wins here and there, if you will, but I mean, the judge is very fair in this, in my opinion. You know, he's not done anything outlandish. He's not done anything crazy. He's not, you know, done. I think he's being very fair, and I think she's gonna dig her own grave, right? Because depending on what they get up there, they're gonna have to be very careful what they skirt around. It's they're gonna have to be very careful. And now I couldn't tell. Could y'all tell this? Did y'all feel like? Did she say? Okay, is she testifying? Because I thought they said. Correct me if I'm wrong. She's scared to testify because it's Lion King. Or did they say she's going to testify that it's a Lion King? Like that part was with the audio. I was like, eh. Sorry. Yeah, hey Diva, and good morning. I agree, Diva. Diva says her consciousness of guilt and this cause about that bump is going to do her in. Yeah. You remember when the dude to the bump, when he approached her on the street, she's going into what her grandkid's school, and he's basically like, hey, you've been taking care of so and so and blah 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 blah. Well, my other family member who's in jail for helping out with your little problem, we need to make sure they're taken care of. And I felt like she said, what are you talking about? And he hands her the letter and he's like, this will explain it all. Now think about if you were a normal person, especially walking into your school, okay? Or I'm sorry, your school, your grandkids' school, whatever. Okay. I know he was so obviously an undercover cop. He was like, they helped with your problem up north after the yellow bird had landed, and it was just like, girl, this is when you leave town. Okay. This is when you should have left town. But imagine you are innocent of this. Okay. Like someone has killed your son-in-law, whatever. You're going to school, some big dude, like, kind of a scary, not scary looking dude, but like a dude that is in this context, like, why is this dude near a school? Why is this dude, like all this stuff, right? Okay. Number one, my reaction could be like, huh? What are you talking about? Like, I would have been like, what are you talking? I don't want that. Like, what are you even, you're making me nervous. Get away. After that, if I had gone to school, immediately gone to the office, could y'all need to get the police? There's this weird guy out here. He doesn't need, I don't know what he's doing, but number one, he doesn't need to be in a school with little kids. Number two, we need, like, that would have been going on. Okay. So this whole thing, even if it's like, well, she didn't know, so she said that, so she kept the letter. Like, why would you even take the letter? I would be afraid it had poison on it or something. Katie Cat summed it up literally. Katie Cat says it seriously gives Arrested Development, but real life, 100%. If y'all have not seen that show, you need to go back and watch it. Matt, what's the name of the mother in Arrested Development? Lucille. What's the line that you say of "I have no more love left to give"? What is it?
That's from Archer.
Oh, so the same actress that did the mom is also an Archer. Y'all, that movie, she is Donna. You want to know how the Adelson family was behind the scenes? You go watch that show, Arrested Development. Okay, that shit was so good. Oh my gosh. Do y'all remember the part where Lucille is sitting there and her housekeeper's leaving and she makes her empty the purse and her son's there and she's like, is this apple? I'm telling you, if you want to know how the Adelson family operated, you go watch that show right now. Okay, you go watch that show. Yeah, there's always money in the banana store. Oh, goodness gracious, y'all. 100%. 100%. That is that show. Or this is that family. And yeah, Diva, back to the Latin King thing. Like, it's so weird. If we hear it in another trial, completely separated from this, we know something's up. We know that Latin King name is getting passed through the jail system. Is like, it is probably like a rumor, like, well, so-and-so said she got off of her charges. She said that the Latin Kings did it. They acquitted her. And so everybody's using lacking defense. Okay. Get Robert's truly Michael from the show, literally. Oh my gosh. But like, it's just, and so again, if you go with that theory, like if you go down the rabbit hole, so first of all, this judge has to be sitting here like, okay, so your son said this, which is kind of tied in here. You know, we got, okay. But Donna's like trying to seal the deal on, it's like the final boss, right? It's like the boom. It was this. Here we go. Yeah, and that's the thing, Lauren. And hey, Lauren, how are you doing? Emily, I'm telling you, Emily, you are going to literally go down a rabbit hole. Start from episode 1 and thank me later. It is so funny. But it literally is the Adelsons. It's literally the Adelsons. Charlie probably is running a banana stand from prison. Not the kind of banana stand that he was in the show. The other thing too is this. Yes, Lauren says every single thing they come up with is so dumb, and they still believe they should be free. Their defenses, it's almost like they get them from like movies, right? Like they're so out of touch, like they're just so out of touch that they come up with these things. And again, it's Arrested Development. It's literally what they would do. It's what they did in Arrested Development, right? They literally just make stuff up, and they're so out of touch with reality and normal life. And like, it's almost like, because you know how like if you meet some families, and again, and see now I'm just on the Arrested Development thing, where the family is so into just the family that they don't have any concept of what's going on outside their bubble of their family. Like that's all they're doing, right? And so it's just like, and then they all gas each other up. So this to me feels like a bunch of people that they don't have much of a clue of what goes on outside their own drama. And then they're also just like, I saw one time in a movie where, you know, they had done this, and then, you know, this gang extorted them. So what we'll do is we'll say this, you know, and they're just like, yeah, that's a good one. And they have zero clue. They're watching each other go down. And it's like, you know, now another thing, I think if okay, so say this did not get them caught, right? Like they didn't get caught, whatever. Okay, the people who did the killing, and I'm talking like even the people who actually did the killing, like Katie, all this, right? They would have extorted this family the rest of their life. So like when I say extort, I'm not saying that they were doing it like the Adelsons were innocent. But I mean, think about it. They have this over their head, right? So with Charlie trying to explain away all the stuff he was buying for Katie, it was just like, you know, no, I mean, I wanted to help her out. It's like, bro, no, you're selfish little family. Like, no, y'all, this family would have been coming, or I'm sorry, this group would have been just getting money left and right, because why not? You killed somebody, you hold this scenario we're in over their head. So they would have just kept coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back. And the Adelsons would have felt entitled, because they already were feeling entitled at this one point. When Charlie was trying to say the thing about what to go back and say and to act like, you know, well, we didn't know this, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, bro, what is that saying? You lay with dogs, you get fleas, or how, you know what I'm trying to say? It's like, this is what like, what did you think? And they weren't, that's the thing. What did you think would happen if you sat here and paid off people to kill your brother-in-law? You think that they're just going to take whatever? You let someone have that over your head? Peachy Keen says, and not had a sick in 3 weeks. I'm shot. Oh, that is amazing, Peachy Keen. That's a huge, huge thing. Congratulations. And thank you for the super chat. I quit smoking probably 10 years ago. I mean, hard, yeah. If you already know, if you've done it, it's yeah. So 3 weeks is amazing. Keep it up. Wait, hold on. I gotta mute y'all for a second. So yeah, I think that they would have kept doing that. And then the Adelsons, like almost like this would have taken place, right? Because the Adelsons would have gotten entitled about it and not wanted to pay. And it would have been this whole thing, and probably another murder would have happened. Oh, you're on Chantix now? Oh, that's good, Crafton. I hope it's helping. So the way that I quit smoking was I started with the patches, and pardon me, my doctor basically was like, you get the, and at this time, I don't know if they still do it, but you could write to wherever and quit smoking, and for me, it was North Carolina, and they sent you free patches. I mean, it was really cool. And I got the strongest one because I was a chain smoker, and my doctor was like, you just wear those things for as long as you feel like you need to, and then you step down. So I didn't go in the timeline that it gave me. I did it more of like breaking the addiction of the physical hand to mouth, hand to mouth, hand to mouth. And leading up to that, what I had done was I documented my cigarette smoking. And I basically smoked a cigarette every 15 minutes of the day. And so what I did is I did a timer to start with. This is before the patches. And so I was like, every 15 minutes, okay. So then I was like, every 20 minutes you can smoke a cigarette. And I did that for a couple of days, every 25, then 30, then 45. Well, once it got to where it was like every 3 hours, every whatever, you know what I'm saying? Where it was like you were aware of it, then I switched to the patches to just get for me, it was such a nervous hand to mouth thing, which now I've replaced that with food. Then I did the patches. And so and once that was whatever, then I would graduate down to me. It took me, I mean, months and months, but it's what I needed, right? Yeah, Casey says that's what I'm finding now, the after a meal cigarette and after my meds and yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. It's hard. Yeah, for me too. Here's the other thing too. Like, so I tell people this: if I am in a situation where I smell, like, so for example, we're at CrimeCon, somebody's like, "Hey, let's go outside and smoke a cigarette." Absolutely, I'm coming with you. Love smelling a cigarette while it's lit, or a cigar. Love that. I don't like the the ashtray smell or whatever. Don't like that, but I love the whiff of it. But zero desire to have one. Also because the second, like, so way before I had stopped and quit, kind of a thing, you know, trying to quit or whatever. When I started back smoking the second time, I don't know how to describe it. It made me so physically sick because I just went back to just chain smoking, obviously. And when I saw how physically sick my body was from smoking, a massive headache for like 3 days until my body acclimated to like the poison and the toxins or whatever. So I don't know if my lungs could take smoking again. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like this internal how do you say it? I don't know how to describe it. It's just like you get to a point in life with some things where it's like, I can't. Yeah, Dead Barbarian says I threw up. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I was violently sick. It was bad. And still wanted to smoke. And then my body acclimated. And I just remember that feeling. I'm like, oh. And then just how my lungs are. I'm like, oh, no. But yeah, quitting smoking was the hardest thing. The hardest thing. Yeah, my body literally rejected it. So yeah, y'all just hang in there that are trying. It's hard, but you can do it. And once you're on the other side of it, I can't tell you. It's, oh my gosh, feels so much better when you see how many toxins are in there and what your body felt like with them in. Yeah. Yeah, self-preservation. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I don't know how to describe it. It's like, I don't know. I'm all for, like I said, smelling a cigarette, like smelling a cigarette going or a cigarette, love it. But there's just something subconscious and internal that's like, ooh, I couldn't smoke one at this point. I I mean, when I even think about it, my lungs, I feel fire in my lungs. Yeah, and it took me a minute. So like when I what is it? Like when I quit smoking, I don't want to be around them obviously or whatever. But yeah, and I mean I don't seek it out, but it's just it doesn't bother me if somebody smoke them. But what I don't like is like the this what I call cigarette stench, you know. So for example, say somebody has a smoking jacket that they put on to go outside and smoke, the smell of that jacket, like I don't like that, right? Yeah, Crafton says, by the way, Shantex is free with insurance. That's amazing. I've heard people say, yeah, say major things about that. Now this was like obviously a long time ago, way before that. I tried, maybe it was Wellbutrin at the time to quit smoking, and it definitely took the pleasure away from it. Julie did the same thing. I quit smoking kind of the same way, but I didn't use patches. I wrote down every time I lit a cigarette that I took mine and I added 5 minutes to it. That was honestly the best way. I mean, literally. I had to do it both ways because the physical addiction was so the act of it was I was so addicted to that. Um, but that was the best way. When you figure out how much you smoke, so again for me it was literally every 15 minutes. And then it was like every 20 minutes, every 25, every 30, every 35. It's like this slow detox. Because you also one thing what you see so many for me at least, so many cigarettes were nervous cigarettes, not addiction cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? Like my body needs the nicotine. It was uh I just finished a meal. I'm going to work. It's my break. Whatever. But the actual I'm addicted and need this cigarette was very few a day. But the rest of it was anxiety and all the other things, right? So, y'all, August 19th, we'll figure out how we'll do CrimeCon with the trial going on. Of course, this would happen then, right? But I think Lori Daybell was going on at last CrimeCon, or one of them. I don't know. Yeah, Casey says my cigarettes are I'm bored or procrastinate. Literally same. That's what the majority of mine were. Literally. And now, I mean, they're so expensive. I don't know, depending on where you live and stuff like that. But I mean, here, like, say name brand, like I saw somewhere the other day Marlboros, and I don't remember how much they were, but I do remember me sitting here being like, you know, I want to say a carton was like $100, something. It was crazy. Whatever it was crazy. And I was just like, that is so expensive. No, when my friend Derek, y'all know Derek, when he smoked, Derek was like this. Derek was like, I think I smoked 5 a day. And I'm like if I could have done that, I probably would still smoke, right? Casey says Baltimore smoke cools, cool 100s. A pack is $17. But Shannon says Chad's verdict was at CrimeCon. Oh my god, you smoke cool 100s. They are good. Do they still do the thing where you bite it and it does the menthol thing? I know, right? Crafting says, why don't courts schedule around CrimeCon? Someone gets their right. Seriously. He's just excited to quit when they're 250. Yeah, when I was in high school, I think that's what they were. 11.50 for Newports, 12. Yeah, see, where I left off, I want to say they were like 6, and you get the things in the mail. Maybe it would be like $5-6 a pack. Hey, Aaron. Yeah, I don't know how we got on smoking. We went down a quit smoking thing. Aurora says $19 Newports a day. That's crazy. Yeah, Wampa says husband rolls are unpacked. Yeah, 70. Yep. Yeah, see, I'm out. You're in Nashville. Okay. Well, let me look up in here. Let me see how much. Let's just see real quick, and then I'm gonna run. Hold on. How much? So when I smoked, I did Marlboro Reds at first, Marlboro mediums, Marlboro lights, like, and then it was in that world of that. But I could never go back and smoke just plain reds. It would have to be lights or mediums or something. I mean, that's what they called them when I smoked. I think you're not like legally allowed to do that now. So we're gonna say, how much are Marlboro in North Carolina? Okay, they call them red label now. Okay, so now also, but keep in mind before I tell you all this, remember this is RJ Reynolds land, right? I mean, literally you could smoke in anywhere at a certain point in North Carolina. I remember going to Winston-Salem, where they're from, and this is like you could still smoke in hospitals. Now, mind you, this is going way back, obviously not any time of recent, but like when it was beginning to turn where it was not publicly cool, whatever, it was like you could do this. Okay, so North Carolina is among the states with the lowest cigarette prices. An average price for a pack of mainstream cigarettes is around $7.95. One source specifically mentions a price of $9.69 for a pack of Marlboro Red Label, which are considered mediums. Another source, Spring Market, shows Marlboro Filter Red Label 100s for $9.38. The state excise tax on cigarettes in North Carolina is 45 cents a pack, one of the lowest nations. So basically they're saying between $9.38 and $9.69. So now let's go do this. Lowe's. We're gonna get tricky. I wonder, whoa, who wrote the book of love? Tell me. So we're just gonna go straight. Okay, so here's what I did. I just went to the grocery store on here. Y'all. Okay, so I went to Lowe's Foods, that's a grocery store here in North Carolina, and typed it in. So Marlboro Lights, add to cart, $9.79. So it's $10 a pack here, okay? Y'all, when I tell you the carton is $95, that is $95. So again, thinking for me, y'all, I smoked 2 to 3 packs a day. Okay, so you're talking a minimum carton a week. This is like, now I don't know how much fancy cars are. Everybody's version of what's fancy car is different, obviously. So I'm thinking that's a fancy car payment right there. Okay. Of course, but you know, I'm sitting here thinking like a Lexus, but you're probably like, Paul, Lexus is actually like $1,200 a month, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just, you know, $95 a day a carton. That is crazy. I can't wrap my mind around that. Duke's mayonnaise is $6.79. Okay, Mountain says I paid $350 a month. Okay, so this is a fancy car payment, right? This is a fancy car payment. If you have a Duke's mayonnaise issue, it's $6.79 a carton. Okay, it's $6.79 a carton. The Marlboro NXT box is 100 flat. Oh yeah, they're getting you coming and going on this now. Wow. I know, I love mayo too. It's so good, right? So yeah, there you go. So anyways, oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so I'm gonna go do my day. So that is it. Sunday night we're gonna be doing the live chat. Pardon me. We're gonna be watching Aaron Patterson's police interview. If you want to watch it beforehand, just Google it, your YouTube it, Aaron Patterson interview. It'll come up. It was released. we'll watch it and talk about because the several things have taken place in the Arab Matters in case. So we'll watch that, and then we'll kind of continue just doing the updates and whatnot, or I'm sorry, not update, well, updates, but just refreshing for the Donna Adelsons, the trials. Okay, so there you go. So yeah, so thank you all moderators for hanging out with me this morning and keeping the cushions fluffed. I do appreciate you, and thank you, Sofa Squad. For I was saying Lion Kings. That doesn't surprise me. We'll call them Lion Kings. It's probably better, right? The Lion Kings. You can tell, like, I probably, yeah, that's very on brand for me. But that's it. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all have a great day. We'll close out with Slow Morrison's Ode to the Sofa, we'll call it. That's it. Y'all have a good one. I love you. I will see you.
The pillows are fluffed thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough. Join the family. It's all love while we laugh at first criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please. The puppies need me. Oh, oh, please. My body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Puppies need me, oh please. My body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.